One moment of happiness can turn into a lifetime of pain. Toan and Diem's love story was once filled with laughter, dreams, and the sweet promise of a new life growing within her. But fate can be cruel. In a single heartbeat, everything changed. Diem collapsed, and Toan's world fell apart as their long-awaited baby slipped away. This is a story of love, loss, and the strength to keep holding on through heartbreak. Don't forget to subscribe and follow our channel for more emotional love stories that touch the soul. The morning sunlight filtered softly through the white curtains, brushing against Diem's cheeks as she stirred awake. The gentle aroma of freshly brewed coffee filled the room, mingling with the faint scent of jasmine from the garden outside. Toan was already in the kitchen, humming quietly while preparing breakfast. It had become their daily ritual. He would make her a warm cup of milk, and she would tease him for adding too much sugar. Those moments, though simple, were the threads that wove their peaceful life together. Diem walked over, her steps slow and tender, one hand resting instinctively on her small, growing belly. She smiled as she saw Toan carefully flipping an omelet, his sleeves rolled up, revealing the familiar scars from years of hard work. To her, those scars weren't flaws. They were symbols of love, of a man who had built a home not with bricks and wood, but with care and devotion. "You should rest more, my love," Toan said, noticing her. "The baby needs you to be calm and happy." Diem laughed softly, her voice as gentle as the morning light. "With you beside me, how could I be anything else?" Their home sat on the edge of a quiet countryside road, surrounded by green fields that swayed with the wind. Every evening, Toan would take Diem on a short walk, his arm around her shoulders, listening to her talk about the baby's little movements and her dreams of holding their child for the first time. They had already picked a name whispered between them each night before sleep, like a promise. Sometimes Toan would place his ear against her belly, chuckling when he thought he heard something. Diem would smile and tell him, "Our baby already knows your voice." Weekends were their favorite. Toan would fix things around the house, the loose window latch, the garden fence, while Diem sat nearby, knitting tiny socks and baby hats. She often looked up from her work just to watch him, feeling her heart swell with warmth. He wasn't a man of many words, but every gesture, every glance carried love deeper than any poem could describe. When Toan finished, he would sit beside her, wipe the sweat from his brow, and rest his head on her shoulder. Together, they would look at the sunset, painting the sky in shades of gold and rose, believing that their little world was perfect. In those quiet days, happiness felt so natural, so complete, that neither of them ever imagined it could shatter. They spoke often about the future, about lullabies, bedtime stories, and the sound of tiny feet running across the wooden floor. Toan would joke that he wanted their child to inherit Diem's smile, while she would insist the baby must have his kind heart. Life in that moment was pure harmony, a fragile, beautiful peace that seemed like it would last forever. That afternoon, the sky was unusually quiet. The soft hum of cicadas drifted in through the open window as Yem arranged freshly washed baby clothes on the line, her hands moving with gentle care. The sun cast golden light over everything, the garden, the house, her face, as if the world itself was wrapped in peace. She paused for a moment, resting a hand on her belly, smiling faintly when she felt a small flutter inside. "You're growing strong, my little one," she whispered. Her voice trembled with love and hope. But then the smile faded. A sharp, twisting pain shot through her abdomen, so sudden that her breath caught in her throat. The world around her blurred. She gripped the edge of the table, trying to steady herself. But another wave of pain hit, deeper, crueler. Her knees weakened, her vision dimmed. "Toan," she murmured, her voice barely audible. She reached for her phone on the counter, the screen glowing faintly under trembling fingers. She managed to press his name before stabbing pain ripped through her body, stealing her strength. The phone slipped from her hand and hit the floor with a hollow sound. Miles away, Toan's phone buzzed. He answered, but all he heard was silence, a faint rustle, a weak gasp, and then nothing. His heart dropped. Something inside him screamed that something was wrong. Without hesitation, he threw down his tools, jumped into the truck, and sped down the narrow roads, his mind spinning with fear. The road blurred before him, his hands gripping the wheels so tightly his knuckles turned white. "Please, Yim, hold on, I'm coming," he whispered over and over, his voice breaking into a cry that echoed through the small house. He carried her into the car, every second feeling like an eternity. The hospital wasn't far, but each red light, each slow car ahead felt like a cruel test of fate. Tears blurred his vision as he drove, one hand holding Yim's cold fingers, the other gripping the steering wheel. "You're going to be okay," he whispered, though his voice trembled with fear. "You and our baby, please, just hold on." The door to the emergency room opened with a slow, weary creak, breaking the heavy silence that had wrapped itself around Toan like a shroud. The doctor stepped out, his face pale beneath the harsh fluorescent light. One look at him, and Toan's world began to collapse even before the words were spoken. "We did everything we could," the doctor said softly, eyes filled with the quiet sorrow of a man who had said these words too many times. "Your wife is stable now, but the baby didn't make it." For a moment, Toan didn't understand. The words hung in the air, distant, unreal. Then, like a cruel wave, the meaning struck him full force. His knees gave out, and he pressed his trembling hands against his face. The sounds around him blurred, the footsteps, the murmurs, the machines, until all he could hear was the echo of what would never be. The baby didn't make it. His chest tightened, his breath came out in broken gasps, and tears fell silently through his fingers. When he was finally allowed to see Diem, she looked so fragile beneath the thin white sheets, her skin pale against the sterile hospital light. Her eyelids fluttered open slowly, confusion swimming in her gaze. "Toan," she whispered, her voice no louder than a sigh. He moved closer, taking her cold hand in his. For a heartbeat, there was only silence between them, the kind of silence that carries 1,000 words unspoken. Then her trembling lips formed the question he had dreaded most. "The baby?" He couldn't answer. His throat tightened, and for a long moment he could only shake his head, tears spilling down his face. Diem's eyes widened, then filled with tears that rolled silently onto the pillow. Her hand instinctively moved to her belly, once full of life, now unbearably empty. A broken sob escaped her lips, and Toan gathered her into his arms, holding her as though his embrace could somehow undo what fate had taken. "I'm so sorry," he whispered again and again, his voice raw and trembling. "I should have been here. I should have protected you both." The night deepened outside, rain tapping against the window like the soft rhythm of grief. In that dim room, two souls clung to each other, bound by love and loss. Diem cried until no tears were left, her heart hollowed by the silence that had replaced the tiny heartbeat she once carried. Toan stroked her hair, his own tears falling into the crook of her neck. There were no promises left to make, no words that could heal the wound they shared, only the quiet, endless ache of two people who had dreamed of forever and lost a piece of it. As dawn began to break, faint light spilled into the room. Toan remained by her side, his fingers intertwined with hers, whispering softly, almost like a vow, "We'll get through this, Diem. You still have me, always." She closed her eyes, leaning into his hand, and though her heart ached with unbearable pain, she felt the fragile thread of love still holding them together, bruised but unbroken.
Hello, xin chào tất cả các bạn của kênh Lý Tử Diễm Review. Rất vui vì ngày hôm nay lại gặp lại các bạn trong câu chuyện ngày hôm nay. Trong câu chuyện hôm nay của chúng ta thì Diễm đột nhiên bị đau bụng rất là dữ dội. Cô đã bị ngất xỉu ở dưới nhà. Rất may là Toàn và mẹ Toàn đã kịp thời cứu cô thoát khỏi cơn nguy hiểm. Nhưng một điều đáng buồn thay đó chính là cái thai trong bụng cô đã không còn. Điều đó khiến cho Toàn và Duyên cảm thấy rất là đau khổ. Cả hai động viên nhau cùng cố gắng. Mọi tình tiết hấp dẫn sẽ còn được kể ở các video tiếp theo. Các bạn nếu thấy video ngày hôm nay hay hấp dẫn, hãy để lại bình luận và nhấn nút like nhé. Đừng quên hãy ấn vào nút subscribe để nhận được thông báo mới nhất về các tập phim sẽ được phát sóng hàng ngày trên kênh Lý Tử Diễm Review. Cảm ơn các bạn rất nhiều. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại. Bye bye.